VA Group 5, and I'm Miho Murata.
I'm Cindy Chen.
I'm Lisa Lee.
So we are gonna talk about plastic pollutions in the ocean.
It's like how plastic go to oceans and how it will influence people and animals in this world.
So let's move to the news of the ocean's plastic pollution. Here is a description of how plastic affects the ocean's life. So this is a link of the article and a picture to show the plastic's influence on animals.
Talk about the ocean plastic pollution. We separate it into four parts. The first part is plastic in ocean, and I will introduce about this. The second one is the how plastic influences animals, and the third one is the how plastic influence humans. First part about solutions, we will conclusion it. Now this is the first part, how plastic into ocean. There is huge amount of plastic going into oceans, and because people throw garbage into rivers, sewage systems, road runoff, and littering to allow garbage to go oceans. As a result, every year there are 8 million tons of plastic is sweeping into oceans. Also at the same time, because of the oceanic cycle, plastic will go together to become garbage patches. As a result, even in the polar ice, people still can find plastic garbage. Actually, there are only 20% of plastic pollution directly from illegal dumping or other fishing activities. Most of plastic pieces from lands are thrown by ourselves into river or other systems. Sea lives are in huge danger because the plastic cannot biodegrade in the ocean, and it will only become smaller and smaller. In the end, the plastic can flow into oceans for centuries, and more than 500 sea animals in ocean each or are hurted by plastic. Both of these situations are very dangerous. Nowadays, there is another hidden problem comes into people's mind, microplastic. This is not the same as the garbage stays on the landscape or coastline. Microplastic means the size of the plastic is smaller than 5 millimeters. It can also much than smaller than 5 millimeters. When the carrier bags, synthetic clothing, and car tiles are separated into small pieces, then microplastics appear. At the same time, some plastic items are designed in a very small size, just like our daily life use stuff, the commodities. Also, this is another one which names is needles, a small ball used to produce plastic products. Scientists discovered that microplastics are not uniformly distributed across the study area. Instead, they are distributed by powerful seaflow currents, which concentrated them in certain areas. Some plastics has become a new type of sediment pieces, which is distributed across the seafloor together with sand, mud, and nutrients. Also supply oxygen and nutrients to deep-sea creatures, creating biodiversity hotspots, which means more marine creatures are likely to eat microplastic along with the toxic virus and the bacteria that they are known to harbor. The main microplastic pollution direct sources is needles. Most plastic products are produced by these small balls, and because its small size, transportation, and handled function, nearly millions of needles will be thrown by factories and other situations. Then they will go through the system directly and then flow into oceans. This is a very terrible situation because of their size, shape, color, and buoyancy to allow fishes, birds, and other sea animals to think that they are fish eggs. As a result, they will try to eat them. From 2013, some organizations start to improve the cognition of public about microplastic. This plastic used in a lot of daily products like face cream, toothpaste, shampoos, and household cleaning products. After discussed with the Environmental Investigation Agency, the Marine Conservation Society, and the Greenpeace UK, these organizations are also invited by the UK government's Environmental Audience Committee hearing to show the dangers of the microplastic. And all of these organizations have the same result, is that to make a law is the best and most effective way to control and solve this problem.
So part 2 is about how plastic influences the nature. So like what happens after plastic goes into oceans. So part 2 has 2 sections. First one is the emissions of greenhouse gases, and the second one is the impacts on marine creatures. So what it means by the emissions of greenhouse gases is that when plastic is exposed to the sunlight, it actually emits methane and ethylene, according to a Royal study. So you can see the picture below. Methane and ethylene are both greenhouse gases, so it actually contributes to warming the earth. Also, sunlight makes the plastic break into small pieces, so it will eventually become microplastics too. So what type of plastic can most contribute to pollute? It's LDPE, which stands for low density polyethylene. It is often like widely used and consumed by us, and it also deposits of, because like most of the plastic made of LDPE are used for single-use plastic, so a lot of materials made of LDPE goes to waste immediately. So what types of materials or products are made of LDPE? It's a food wrap, plastic bags, frozen food containers, and bottles, and other things can be made of LDPE too. So the second one, the impacts of marine creatures. So we think that like plastic lasts long, but it actually it depends on what types of plastic made of. So plastic bag, it takes just for 20 years, but on the other hand, plastic toothbrush takes as long as 500 years to decompose. And so that therefore 87% of plastic waste actually goes into nature, such as to the oceans, to the rivers, to the forests, according to WWF. So these things happened quite recently. In 2018, in the Philippines, a young dead whale was found, which carried 40 kilograms of plastics in its stomach. So you can see this one, like a lot of plastics and microplastics are in its stomach.
Marine animals were mistaking the plastic directly or indirectly. Ocean photo teams in 2018 shows that seabirds and sea turtles may eat the plastic because of misidentification, and Reddy in 2018 reports that some smart animals like dolphins will not eat plastic directly, but they will ingest the microplastics through the food chain. So why some marine animals will eat the plastic directly? UC Davis in 2016 provides the answer. Plastic will emit the smells like sulfurous compounds, the dimethyl sulfide, or called DMS, It exists in the algae, and which will be eaten by the shrimp, which is a favorite food of the seabirds. When the seabirds eat the shrimp, they will get these smells. Another scientific team presents that the plastic looks like the jellyfish, and it is one of the main food source of the sea turtles. But also the sea turtles will be attracted by the smells of the plastic. So, what is the influence if animals eat lots of plastic? Marine animals may die because of cannot get enough nutrients. Full of the plastic in the stomach will let them thought they are food, but actually not. Secondly, it may affect the metabolism, and we have learned that it is an important part when life is living. Thirdly, it may obstruct or hurt the stomach by long plastic sticks. And finally, research shows that the plastic may influence the animal's reproduction. It may decrease the numbers of sperms and eggs, and also may affect the offspring's health. And we know that the reproduction is a meaningful thing to any species. And another important impact of the plastic is entanglement. If marine animals be treated by the plastic in their young age, that if they grow up, the plastic will be stuck into the body, like the picture shows in the screen, and entanglement may hurt the animals through the suffocated, infection, and restrict growth and mobility. Moreover, the plastic may lead the coral increase the possibility of getting sick. Two research both shows these points. In normal, 4% of the coral will get sick, but it will increase to 89% when they stay longer with the plastic. In addition, the plastic or microplastic could also ask the ship to take the algae, bacteria, or some small plants and animals to invade other lands' local ecosystems, and may also break the equivalence of the ecosystems. Besides, it may lead to the gene flow, which may reduce the difference between each species. And it may also cause an unpredictable variation of the bacteria. So let's move on to the other part.
So part 3 is about how plastic influences humans. As it's explained before, plastic waste is ended up going to oceans, and fish plastic break into small pieces when it's exposed to sunlight or ocean waves, and fish will eat them by mistaking them for prey. Then fish can't hold a lot of plastics. Then we will eventually eat fish and plastics too. So that's why we consume 1769 pieces of plastic every week, as study said, but it's just from water. So all putting together, we are said that humans consume one credit card's weight, like 5 grams of plastic each week, according to WWF. And it's not about the oceans, but it's related to plastics. Microplastics are found in 93% of bottled water, so almost all of them. That's why it causes a lot of diseases, and which are it causes a lot of higher risks of inflammation, genotoxicity, oxidative stress, and necrosis. So those can cause cancer, neurological, reproductive, and developmental toxicity, and also it can cause impairment of the immune system too. So we talked about the impacts of plastic on the environment, animals, and humans. So now we are gonna talk about what we can do to solve these problems. So we now came up with 3 types of solutions. The first one is we should get more information and so that we will know plastic is harmful to the earth, animals, and humans more than you think. And so, as we explained before, and the second one is to take good care of stuff to last longer, so that you don't have to buy any other products and which is made of plastics or even other materials. And the third one is not to use plastic. So we're gonna talk about more details about this. So what it means by not to use plastic is to use other materials instead of single-use plastic. So we have 5 types of solutions. And first one is to use reusable bags, such as like this one, or even the reusable bags for vegetables when you go shopping. And the second one is to bring on your own bottles or cups, because the coffee cups, it looks like easy to recycle or decompose, but it actually not. It lasts long on the nature, so it ended up to go to waste. So it's not really recyclable. And the third one is to use bamboo toothbrush, because, and as I said before, the toothbrush is made of plastic and which lasts as long as 500 years to decompose. And that's why we can use bamboo toothbrush, which is because bamboo is grown up super fast more than you think. That's why it's really sustainable. And the fourth one is to use silicone or beeswax food wraps instead of plastic food wraps, as it's also explained before. And plastic food wraps is really impacting on the earth and on humans too. That's why we could use these kind of materials instead. And the fifth one is you can buy in bulk, or you could buy less packaging products, so that you can avoid overpackaged products, such as this one. It's really overpackaged. So we talked about 3 major solutions, and also things that we can immediately start to sustainable eco life. And it's really easy to start doing this kind of stuff. That's why we think it's very important to know plastic is harmful to the earth, animals, and humans more than you think. So we think when more people know the impacts of plastic, and we can eventually solve these problems and global warming too.